All right, welcome to the next video. So in the last one, we talked about KeyShot and the more technical aspects of rendering in KeyShot and how to use it. In this one, we're going to be talking about what you do with that now artistically. Some of the fundamental things that I personally think about. Everybody has their own opinions on these types of things, but to me, I think that this applies to really just the idea of lighting, not necessarily, lighting design as far as thematics or all of these types of things, but it's more how to make things read well, how to bring importance to things. And we're going to break down in the next video a lot of the things I'm about to show, like these ideas, and we're going to break them down and have practical examples of how we can apply them and also visualize them in our own art. So one of those things is figure background. And so to me, figure background is this idea of, creating depth or importance and understanding the value of things that either overlap, are in front of each other, or just interacting with one another. And so we're going to break down exactly what this is visually in the next video. We're going to break down all of these. But it's kind of like a negative space drawing. You can see how because we have black and we have white, we have separation, and separation creates clarity. It creates importance, right? So it's a very similar concept, and I'll have examples to break this down, intuitively and contextually. The next one is form reads. So form reading is so crucial to lighting. Form reading is creating a very clear understanding of forms visually and volume, because we use value to create volume. If you have a square and it doesn't have any change in volume, in value on either of the sides of it, you're not going to understand, oh, it's actually a cube. It'll just look like some random shape. This is why silhouettes you don't understand the form, because there's no value changes at all. It's just a silhouette. And so we use value to create this form or volume, right? And so it's understanding value, paying attention to it. When you're lighting something, it's important to control this. So form reading, that's something that's very important we'll be talking about. The next one is gradients. Now this is something that I personally use a lot. I think it's more of a product rendering thing that is used all the time, but it's not just in product rendering, and I'll have examples of other uses for this. But I use them personally to guide the eye, to tell the mind on some sort of objects what is the front versus the back and create this visual clarity, and also to create movement. When everything is a uniform value, it feels very static, very dead. So we can create movement using gradients, and I'll have examples for this, of course. And then the next one I want to talk about is the simplification of lighting. We use this simplification to minimize the value of plane changes, so that way we don't have so much craziness going on that it's hard to understand. We want things that we're lighting to be understood well. If you know about primary, secondary, tertiary forms, it's very similar, except it's the opposite of creating it. It's using these forms to light it in an understandable way. So we'll talk about this. But it's a clear hierarchy, essentially, and just awareness of the value of your things, and I'll have examples of where I've failed and how I've fixed it. The next one is value control. Value control is more of an idea, but it's crucial. When we're learning to draw, or we're painting, or whatever, even photography, we're learning to see value. It's a perception of value. Because without being able to see the contrast and value immediately, we have a hard time lighting, because we're designing the value, right? And so it's kind of like if you watched my last design tutorial, it's about learning to see things in a different way and developing the eye for it. So, and then using value to guide the eye and manipulate the mind, make it find importance and find things that it needs to be looking at and make it not look where it shouldn't be. And we'll be talking about this as well. So these are just a few of the concepts we'll be talking about. And in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to break down how we're going to start visualizing these contextually, how we're going to use them ourselves, and some good and bad examples, as well as some photographic examples of how we can achieve integrating these principles into our own work. And so that's what I'm hoping, and to me is the most important part of this, because I can teach you the tools, but I think the next and most important thing is learning what to do with those tools. And so in the demo after this chapter, I'll be talking about how I'm applying these as I make something. So I'm going to give you examples now in the next video, and I'm going to be breaking it down and doing it in real time, so that way you can kind of see how I'm thinking about these things. And I'm sure that there's so much more, and everybody has their own kind of way of viewing these things and seeing what's important, but this is just my personal view, and so hopefully it's helpful for some people. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and we'll break stuff down. So see you there.